there's a massive shortage of bricklayers out there. So, and that's just, bricklayers, even some certain parts of carpentry are like gold dust.
Really?
They can make a fortune. Yeah, they can make a fortune in those industries. Absolutely. I think where it started for me was when I got my fellowship for the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. So I was, like I said to you earlier, I became a member, chartered member, but I wanted more. Okay, I wanted more, and I wanted to get more. And the next step, after being a member, is a fellow.
Right.
Yeah, is being a fellow. And to become a fellow, there's certain things you need to do. There's certain projects you need to
have under your belt.
and you need to be managerial role and all that sort of stuff, dealing with budgets and all that stuff. And I was thinking for years and years and years and years, I've got to do this. I've got to do my fellowship. 1 year, I just said, right, I'm going to do it. And I applied for it. I did it, and I got it. And then I thought to myself, wow, hold on a minute. I'm now a fellow. I can use the letters FRICS on my thing. This is amazing. And I've always had this thing, and I said it to you in this interview before. If I can do it, why can't you? And I just say you, as in I'm talking in general.
Yeah.
So it was at the point that I got my fellowship. I mean, I was doing bits before that anyway, but I think the fellowship really sort of said, I need to showcase and inspire other people out there, try and inspire people to do the best they can. And more importantly, black boys, male or female, the diverse, the diversity of it.
Because I'm assuming those institutions,
it's
very bright.
Very bright. I was going along to meetings before my fellowship, before I got the fellowship, and even after my fellowship, and I'll go along to these meetings, and I'll be the only black person there. So it was all about, for me, it was all about getting the fellowship, and then it was all about, right, now I'd like to pull people along with me on my journey. And that's where it all started. Right. And I met some really, really influential individuals on my way that's helped me find certain things and meet certain people to help me push my name out there and push things out there. So for me now, it's all about showing. For me, it's all about being a role model. And now we live in a day of, or an age, I should say, of social media. Yeah. There's positive sides and there's negative sides to social media. We all know that. Mm-hmm. I'm using social media the best I can to show the positive things that I'm doing, so people can see that, and then it hopefully inspires them to take that extra step and do whatever they want. It doesn't have to be in construction. It could be whatever, but just to take that extra step and move that extra, get to the point where you want to be. There's no reason why you can't.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you don't have to be an academic to get to where you want to.
That's let's go a bit further. Let's explore that. What do you mean by that?
Right. I'm working with a charity at the moment called Construction Youth Trust. Mm-hmm. And construction, that's part of my, as the LABC President, for your term, you have to support a charity.
Got it.
For the year. And I'm working with a charity called Construction Youth Trust, and what they're about is getting to hard to reach kids out there from diverse backgrounds and getting them to know about the world of work. That's what their sort of things do. They go into schools, they go into colleges and talk to kids and stuff like that. Fantastic charity. And I did what they called an event with them. They called it Budding Builders. And what this event was they had about 6 or 7 youth, boys. They're all boys, all different backgrounds, different colours, but they'd come from very, very tough backgrounds, very tough. And so Construction Youth Trust had created this week of, they called it Budding Builders, and they invited me along for one of the days of that week, where it was called Meet the Employer or something like that, or Meet an Employer. So I went along as building control and building control surveyor, as a building control and president. I went along, and I went along, and there was two parts to the day. There was the first part of the day, which was about in a classroom, and me and along with a couple of other people there that were from different other organisations, talking about our careers and things like that, and what we do, and et cetera, and all that sort of stuff. And I brought my presidential chain to show them my chain.
You got the gold chain, right?
I got the gold chain. I didn't bring it today, but I got the gold chain. I brought the chain on. I brought the chain. I showed it to the guys, and I talked to them a bit like I'm talking to you now about my journey, as well as others spoke to them about their journey. And I was looking at their faces and looking at these guys. They were, like I said, they were mainly boys, about between 16 and 18 old. They were just not interested.
Wow.
They were just not. Some of them one or two of them were interested. The others were not really interested. But we still carried on. Then there was a second part to the day, which was about them. They were going into a workshop, and while they were in the workshop, they had to build things like they had to make like a model of a house. They were making things, doing some carpentry work, drilling, and all that sort of stuff. That was the second part of the day, and we were there to just watch them, talk to them, encourage them while they were doing their in the workshop. I got so much more out of them in the workshop,
right, than the lecture, because for them they're all about building things, doing stuff with their hands, actually physically doing stuff with their hands. It brought them out, and that's when I then got stuff out of them, and I could say, and then I thought to myself, so these are the type of individuals that they don't necessarily out academics to get to where they want to, but they could be fantastic plumbers. Yeah, 100%.
They could be expert carpenters, expert electricians, and do fantastically well in those careers, which are not necessarily having to read. Well, you're still going to read some sort, but having to go to college or things like that, or not, do a degree.
Yeah.
So my point is that you can flourish and do well, and not actually be an academic.
Yeah. And I think that's so important, because especially now in the age that we are, the way that the education system is set up, it hasn't been revived since they started. Because obviously I'm being a bit of a geek now, but in the original, the reason why we have the education system we have now is because of the Industrial Revolution. So it essentially was to skill people up to get to work. So that was the mindset that it has. But then there was nothing about creativity, nothing about. It was just to get you through so that we're all on the same playing field, so you can go to work.
Yeah.
But then now things have evolved where the society is so mature that there's diverse things that we need to recognize about individuals. That some people are. They learn based on the things they hear, so they're auditory. Some people are kinesthetic learners, so they learn by doing. Some people, they learn based on, for example, writing, so they learn that way. And I feel like our education system only caters for one type of person. So you're absolutely right, because like you said, imagine you could lose those kind of people, and we could be losing our future carpenters, whatever, just because the system that they're in Monday to Friday doesn't support that. So those kind of foundations and stuff you're doing is really exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. Again, and I can only speak about Construction Youth Trust, and I know there's going to be lots of other different charities out there, but I can only speak about Construction Youth Trust because that's the charity that I'm closely aligned with. That's what they're doing. They're trying to break down that barrier to youngsters, young kids, and tell them that it's not just academic. There's not just an academic route out there. There is many, many other ways to get to where you want to get to. There's a shortage of bricklayers. There's a massive shortage of bricklayers out there. So, and that's just bricklayers, even some certain parts of carpentry are like gold dust.
Really?
They can make a fortune. Yeah, they can make a fortune in those industries. Absolutely.
So let's talk about that, because I spoke to someone the other day and they were telling me to find a bricklayer, they said it's only, I don't know. It's almost like an ancient art form. No one does it. Is it? Is there technology that's stopped people doing it, or what's happened?
I think society has evolved, and to the point that to become a bricklayer, nobody really wants to get themselves dirty.
Right. So we're too fancy.
Yeah. I think, and that's a barrier that we're trying to break down in the construction industry. In that, it doesn't appeal to a lot of people to want to be on the muddy side.
It's not good for Instagram.
Yeah. There you go. You see, so it's that there is that perception.
Right.
Muddy, cold, laying bricks or cutting up bits of wood.
Coming home smelling every day and all that stuff.
So it's trying to break down that perception to then encourage people to come into industry. So with that perception, that's where we lose, or we've lost a lot of.
It's almost like, not a bit dramatic, but like a generation of potential. I feel like they're just not there, because I was speaking to someone the other day, a property management company, and they said there's just no people that have come through the ranks. They can't remember the last time they had apprenticeship. And I'm like, when did this all stop?
Yeah. It's a big problem we have in the construction industry, resourcing, and this is where the government is trying. There's lots of different apprenticeships out there that they are trying, but it's just trying to get people in.
But has Brexit made it worse? The fact that you can't bring.
I don't want to take this interview too much down the Brexit route, but if you ask me, there's been an effect having with what's happened and the shortage of skilled labour in the construction industry,
or even people that are willing to come here to be skilled.
Yeah,
because like you said, we have the work, but we don't have the workers
to do it. And construction, building houses or buildings will always happen. Construction will always happen. Yeah, we always need buildings being built.
So it's the recession-proof industry.
It is a recession-proof industry, to be fair, because we always need buildings to be built. But yeah, that there is an element of obviously issues. The skilled labour has not been around, and obviously then there's the training and getting people into the industry. And again, my role as building control and the stuff with my charity, it's not only getting people into building control when I'm doing my stuff, it's actually getting people into, it's just exposing the construction industry in large, because there's so much in the construction industry that you can do. There's so much in what you can do. It's not just bricklayers, there's quantity surveyors, there's structural engineering, there's mechanical engineering, there's so much in the industry that you can be an expert in and make a fantastic career out of.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So your story is extraordinary, I would say.
Yeah.
Because considering where you started, Cricklewood, quote unquote normal family, and then next thing you know, you failed GCSEs, but then 1 degree, second degree, chartership, fellowship, and then now you're the president. Yeah. Wow. So do you also do international stuff as well?
No. Well,
based on being the president, is it?
There actually a correction. There was going to be based on the presidency. Yeah, there was due to be some international travel, but not Brexit. COVID.
Oh, okay.
That stopped that. Yeah. My presidential term finishes in December. My LABC President. So, fortunately, I won't get to do any international travel. So all I've done in terms of that is just pushed my exposure on social media, and that's also been seen in
all
Europe, seen all over the place. So that's a no travel, unfortunately. I had a lot of things planned in the pipeline of various countries that I was going to visit, but as soon as we went into lockdown, as we did everything else,
it came to a halt.
Yeah, it just came to a halt.
Well, your story is incredible, and I know the guys are going to be inspired when they watch this.
Thank you so much.
So thanks very much for your time.
No problem.
And we'll definitely have you back soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
Forward thinking.